Hi, this is Dr. Claw here, and I'm going to introduce you to the Lean Startup Plan assignment, but also walk you through how you can be sure that you are following the instructions and getting the most out of the instructions for assignments in one of my online classes. So, first of all, you'll notice that this assignment and all of the assignments will start with a what to do thing. Think of this as the content, like overall, what are you trying to accomplish with this assignment? This will give you content-based information. And then you'll see there's a writing section that will tell you what type of writing I'm looking for. So is there something I want you to focus on, particular types of words or phrases, or for example, in this one, are you supposed to write in complete sentences? So sometimes the writing style might not be entirely clear just from what the assignment is. That's why I include that information there. And then in most of the assignments, there will be a design section as well. Because you're filling out a template for the Lean Startup Plan, there is no design section. But what I recommend that you do whenever you open up an assignment for this online class is open up a blank Word document somewhere and make a list in a way that works for you about what do you need to turn in, what are the key points of the writing suggestions, and what are the key points of the design suggestions. Because writing something down as you're reading it will help you absorb it and process it a little bit better. And that way you don't end up wasting time looking for maybe examples of a startup plan, where I have one right here, and you wouldn't need to look that up yourself. You could save time and click it there. Or maybe you're trying to find out more about what a lean startup plan is and why that might matter. Well, if you read the assignment instructions carefully, you'll see I've actually provided an article that gives you some more information about that. So these instructions are long because we are in an online class, but also because we're in an online class, these instructions are so important for you to read carefully. So I encourage you to do some note taking as you're reading through the instructions. All right, so that's my general suggestion for assignments in this class. For the Lean Startup Plan, I wanted to walk you through what you're doing. So you will download the template right there, and that looks like... sorry about that. I had to track it down in my files, but the download is called the Business Model Canvas. Oops, and that is a template for a lean startup plan. So if it's super zoomed in like this, then you'll just want to zoom out a little bit, make sure you can see everything. Make sure you put your name here. You can put my name there if you want, or you can leave the design for blank. But do put your name in there and put the date in here, because it's useful to keep track of when you're doing things so that you can watch them develop. Okay, so now you'll see that this template has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 boxes for you to place information in. And if you go back to the assignment, you'll see that there are 9 different items also listed in the instructions. So I'll go ahead and tell you those are the same. So before you start typing into your template, I encourage you to look at these explanations. One way you might do it is starting with number 1 and moving your way down, because number 1 will help you think through some of the logistics and everything. Basically, they're in an order that will help you think through how you're going to pull this business together. So you might go ahead and complete one box at a time. So, okay, I'm going to start with number 1. So I need to note the other businesses or services that I'll work with to run my business. And I need to think about suppliers, manufacturers, subcontractors, and similar strategic partners. So when you've done that, you'll pop over here, type it in, and then you're done with that section. Then you're ready to move on to key activities. And that's when you'll come back over here and look at the instructions. Now, in terms of the level of detail that I'm looking for, in something like the key partnerships section, I want you to get specific. So if your company will be based in Clemson, I want you to do some searching and figure out, well, who could be the supplier for you. Like if you're doing a restaurant, who does restaurant supplies in Clemson? So just try to find some names and some companies around town that you can use for this step. At this point, you don't need to vet these companies or like look at their pricing structures or anything. But if you already have this information through your initial search, it's going to make the remaining steps of your business plan easier, because this lean startup plan is basically step one. And then from here on out, we will be creating the components of a more traditional business plan. And the traditional business plan is much more fleshed out. But we're doing it sort of one assignment at a time, so it won't be as overwhelming. But anyway, the better detail you put into your lean startup plan, the easier those later assignments are going to be. That being said, keep in mind you do have a template here. So look up those names, try to get specific about your suppliers and any subcontractors or strategic partners, but you don't need to tell me the history of those suppliers or anything like that. That's not what this is about. I do want you to write and complete sentences, but be concise and get to the point. Remember, these are key components of business writing. All right, so you'll also look at your key activities. So what are you going to be doing? What are you going to be selling? But also ways that you might gain a competitive advantage. So what makes your business different from what's already out there? Any key resources that you have that you can use to create value for your customers. So basically help offer a better product or service. And this could be things that you already own, experience you already have, or it could be taking advantage of like special programs for different populations in the US. Okay. Also, your value proposition is where you need to explain what is valuable about your company. Like, what are you offering to the customer that they are going to value enough to want to purchase? Customer relationships. How is the customer going to interact with your business? So this is sort of laying out an imaginary interaction with your customers. How is that going to work? Are they going to find you online? Is there going to be a storefront? Are they going to be interacting with salespeople or customer service representatives? What's going to happen? Like how will you actually interface with your customers? Customer segments. Who are you marketing to? You don't need to serve everybody. Your business doesn't have to be everything to everyone. Most successful businesses have some kind of niche that they can fill for a specific group of people. Channels, so how will you interact with and communicate with your customers? This might be social media, email lists, it might be radio ads. How do you anticipate communicating with your customers in a way to like get them in or to take feedback from them as well? So how are you going to have this conversation with your customers? And then cost structure. Are you going to focus on reducing costs, so trying to offer a product for the least amount of money possible? Or are you going to try to maximize value, so offering something that's so valuable to the customer that they're willing to pay more money for it? Think about what your goal is there, because those are very different types of businesses. A lot of people do try to do a blend of both, but it's important to think about what are your goals. Are you trying to like basically undersell the competition, or are you trying to offer your customers something that's valuable enough that they don't mind paying a little more money for it? Valuable enough to them, I mean, in terms of desirable. And then finally, your revenue stream. So how will your company make money? Are you going to be selling directly to people? Are you going to have some kind of subscription service where there's a membership fee? Are you going to be selling advertising space? Anything else? And if you have more than one revenue stream, do list that. So that's the breakdown of the lean startup plan. You can see that it's both bare bones and detailed at the same time. So I'm asking you for a wide variety of information that's going to help you flesh out this business as you work on it throughout the term. But at the same time, I'm not asking you for all of the information about all of these 9 different areas at this time. So as I said, aim for detail. If you can do a search for something and get specific names, of like people you're going to work with, subcontractors, or even locations where you want to open up your business, do include that at this stage. If it's something that you can't know yet or that requires a lot of research, like how much is my inventory going to cost? That's fine. That can come later. But do the research for the details that you can right now, and write in complete sentences. You may use bullet points if you want, and maintain a clear and concise writing style. If you have questions, please post those on Yellow Dig, and be sure to tag me with the @ symbol. Thanks for listening.